Virginia was actually founded by a very substantial gift by IBM in 1992. And we've been able to maintain a close relationship with IBM through the years. And 2 years ago, or 18 months ago, we're given an IBM Cell server. And we developed a close working relationship with Barry's group, the Cell group at IBM Austin. And we gave him a copy of the model, Rome Reborn 1.0, and he ported it over to his system, and he will show you the results, which are very, very, very impressive.
Yeah, so this is actually real-time ray tracing being done on the cell processor. You can see here everything's dynamic, all the shadows, the lighting. It's actually being displayed with a PlayStation 3, and it's being rendered on IBM QS21 blades. There's actually a pile of them working on this. You can see the different vector engines working on the image. Each one of those is a different vector engine within the chassis. You can see how they're dynamically moved around. They fly all over the model in real time, change the illumination. And we actually have different layers built into it, so if you go back to Vertex Ambit, you can see what the model looks like with soft shadows baked into the geometry. Let's see if I can fly over to the forum here. I'm getting better at figuring where things are.
You've learned a lot about Roman topography.
Yeah, I've learned quite a bit about where things are at. There's the circus. Go back to this one. There we are. Now if I shift the textures back on, bring it back up to around 12 noon, you can see all the structures out there. The sky is all procedurally generated. So this is a technique that the film industry uses and typically burns hours per frame to do, and we're showing it here being done in a fraction of a second.
And there's surplus capacity, computing capacity. So.
Yeah, we've rendered models up to about 320 million triangles, and what you're seeing here is about 9 million triangles, so there's quite a bit of capacity left in the systems. Get back over here, we can see the buildings. So there we are in the Forum.
So that's the Roman Forum. It was the civic center of Rome. It had major temples of the state called courthouses, government offices, the Senate building. This is a law court. The temple, which doubled as Fort Knox of ancient Rome. The Romans, in the high podium, they had chambers where they kept their gold and silver bars. Temple of the Divine Vespasian. Temple of Concordia, or Harmony, where the Senate tended to meet. It's also a religious cult. The center, the rostra, or speaker's platform, the citizens would array themselves out here and listen to politicians harangue them. Triumphal monument of the Emperor Septimius Severus, who ruled at the end of the second, beginning of the 3rd century AD. Honorary columns all around the Forum commemorating great political leaders and generals. A law court, I think I pointed that out already. On the opposite side, there's another law court. Temple of Castor and Pollux, the brothers of Helen of Troy, the triumphal arch of the Emperor Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Up here you can see some of the imperial palace overlooking the Forum. If you continue around, you'll see the Temple of the Divine Julius Caesar, the first leader to be honored as a god by the Romans immediately after his death. This is that other law court, Basilica Aemilia.
It's a real interactive way to explore the model.
So the frame rate's very impressive. The output's 1080p, high definition. The ability to change the illumination time of day on the fly is amazing. And it apparently can easily deal with the 50 million triangles of Rome Reborn 2.0, which Barry will be given immediately at the end of Siggraph. We didn't have it to give him until last Friday, and so there wasn't time to port it over to the system, but probably fairly quickly, in a week or two at the rate he works.
Yeah, with the system we should be able to swallow that pretty easily. Yeah.
So that's our next step, is to combine the good work of the people you've just seen with Barry.
What's the total compute power behind this? You said a bunch of blade servers.
There's 6 teraflops in the rack. And so you're seeing 6 teraflops being thrown at this problem. But the renderer actually scales linearly with the number of processors we throw at it.
Yep.
So if you want a higher frame rate, you just keep plugging blades in.
Do you want to say something about the processor type?
Yeah, it's a cell processor. It's the same processor that's in the PlayStation 3. But this is all done with software.
There it is right
yeah,
there.
You can see the box behind it.
One of the key ideas behind Rome Reborn is transparency, that the scholarship should be, we're not just making pretty models, but you can at any point stop looking at the model and see the scholarship behind it. And here, Dean Abernathy, who is the teacher of our lead architects, two of his students, Ryan Lewandowski and Sebastian Jemick, and their colleagues, took that idea of transparency and applied it to the booth. So you can see through to the control booth and see the IBM Cell server, and then there's a Sun server back there that's running the Rome Reborn 2.0 with the reality server software of mental images, with the green lights flashing. Great. I'd suggest we move on to the next station. Thank you very much.
Yep.
And you stay around for the Q&A that we'll have.
Okay.
So I could add more blades and get the frame rate up to 60 hertz?
Yep. Yeah, just keep